Hey everybody, Micah from BearHart Outdoors here, doing the unboxing portion of this. I've never done this bit before, so I'm going to unbox this, and then I'm going to use it, and then I will film the rest of the footage with it later after I've carried it for a bit, but I wanted to get this unboxing bit. This is a CRKT Cruiser. Yeah, it is made in China. It's actually a knife that my dad got, and well, it was given to him, and he wanted me to do a review on it and check it out and make sure it was worth him carrying. So he didn't know a whole lot about knives, so he asked me to do a review on it. Helps me out too, gives me something new to review. Comes in a nice box. It's got a little pamphlet and something else we'll get there in just a second. But it's pretty nice, it's solid. It's actually, the texturing's not too bad on it. It's got a thumb stud there. It's liner lock, and it's got an additional lock right there, and I'll get more into that later. It's very comfortable except for this, and I'm going to flip that around, I think, to make it a tip-up carry. That part right there catches me right in the middle of my thing right there. You can just see that, so when I grip down on it, it's just digging in a little bit, but very comfortable knife. It's gotta unlock that or it won't close. There we go. It does have a flipper. Didn't quite go all the way out, but it's new too. A little flick fixes that. It is 4-position. You can see the holes there to carry the pocket clip, so lefties can enjoy this too. It does have dual thumb studs, so lefties can enjoy that as well. And in here, that is an extra pocket clip and hardware. It's got a couple little screws in there, and I'm guessing that if you don't like the way this one curves or does or whatever, it'll fit this side. I'm assuming that this side needs it to curve the other way. And then they've also got a nice little mini catalog. Anyways, I will edit in some more footage, and we'll see how this knife does in the future, and I'll get back with you guys. And just for size comparison, I put it next to my Rat 1. You can see it's just a little bit bigger. It's a lot thicker. Try and get the actual blade edges lined up there. Sorry about that shadow. You can see CRKT is just a little bit longer. Handles are about the same length. But anyways, they're just to give you a little size comparison to something you may be familiar with. As you can see, it's a very good slicer, even on my slightly ripe tomato that I'm working with here. It does an excellent job. Hey everybody, I'm sitting out here today and just wanted to finish up a video on the CRKT Columbia Columbia River knife and tool, I believe it is, on the Hammond Cruiser. I've done a little bit with it. I've carried it, actually EDC'd this for quite a while. I haven't sharpened it up, I haven't touched it up, but I'm just going to do a couple of tasks that I know people are looking for. Forgive the mowing. There's always somebody mowing when it's a nice day. It's been raining here for several weeks, so I guess everyone's just trying to use a couple of nice days and get out and do what they can with it. But, you know, just some things I thought everyone uses theirs for. I already opened this. I didn't think about it, but I brought it in an envelope. A lot of people use their knives to open envelopes, their EDC. You know, that's just something you do on a normal level. There we go. A little bit better on the sound. There. Obviously this isn't quite normal paper, but it is an envelope, so it is a type of paper. You know, obviously. Something else. Got cardboard, pretty standard affair here. Does a good job of that. I mentioned earlier the little lock that's right there. And what that does is when you disengage the middle lock, you've still got a lock on it. The liner locked. So when it's open, it's locked with the liner lock. You push that forward, and it just gives you a redundancy, an extra lockup. So I actually like that about this knife. Still needs a little bit of a flick. I never did adjust it right here. I did switch the pocket clip, and it fits my hand much better. This fits in that little, instead of digging into my finger up here, it's sitting back here where there's not as much, I don't know if we can show. There's not as much pressure right there, the way I hold it anyways. So, it's a good knife. It's got a little bit of jimping right here. Not very aggressive at all, but it definitely gives you plenty of purchase. It's got these holes through the knife, as you can see. There you go. The white backdrop might help a little bit. Something interesting, I was playing around with it. It may have no purpose for anybody really, but it's something I was doing. Fooling around. I was like, hey, I wonder if that'll go in there. And then clamp down, and it just clean cuts. A little stick, you know, nothing fancy, but if you've got a small stick you want to cut into clean segments, you can just pressure cut. I was doing it with a pencil at one point. Actually, my daughter, who is 3, I've seen her in some of the other videos, she tends to bend the straw, because you know she's kind of short sitting at the table. She tends to bend the straw a little bit when she's drinking, like in a restaurant or whatever. And I always cut the straw shorter, because when you bend them, you know, you can't get anything out of a straw when it's bent. So I always cut the straw for her, and I actually pulled this out one time instead of just opening it. It's kind of a long blade, some might consider out in public. So I just pulled it out and stuck the straw through there and snipped it, and my wife actually thought that was a nice feature of the knife. So I just thought I'd mention that. I thought it was kind of funny myself. I don't know what made me think to do it. It was like, oh yeah, I'm just going to stick it through there and not have to fully draw the blade in the middle of this restaurant. Although I have pulled out my BK16 and used that to cut up my steak in a restaurant before. So It's not that I won't, just sometimes it's a little easier if you don't. As you can see, it's got a very nice edge on it still. I don't know if we'll be able to see this or not. I did manage to chip it a tiny bit right up here on the edge. I don't know if that's going to show up or not, but I got a tiny little nick on it doing something, but I'm sure it'll sharpen out, no problem. Like I said, I haven't even touched up this edge at all. So, as far as an EDC, I think it's a good knife. If you like a bigger EDC, you want something that's going to fill your hand. I wear size large gloves, and as you can see, I've actually got some extra down here and a little bit up top. You can shift your grip on it. If you're just holding it loosely, it actually expands. Usually, I find these grooves on knives to be annoying, but this one fits my hand really well. I've got no problems with it at all. You can even choke up a little bit. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really wanted to get close to do something really fine, I suppose you could choke up on it there if you really wanted to, but just because it is so comfortable here, I don't have any problems with it. Look at that, I'm automatically turning my sharpened stick into a feather stick. I wasn't going to try and do too much bushcrafty things with this, but you know, I wouldn't call this a real feather stick either. But there you go. Overall, it's a very good blade. I've enjoyed carrying it a lot. I'm going to give it back to my dad with good marks. I looked on Amazon, and the Hammond Cruiser comes in black, and it comes in a like a coyote tan or desert tan or whatever you want to call it scales as well. And they're about 25 bucks on Amazon last time I checked, so that could fluctuate and then go on sale and then do different things like that. There you go. There's micro tent peg. Well, it's not really a tent peg. I did it the wrong way. But anyways, we got a notch and we got a sharpened stick, so even though I did it backwards. But it's a good knife. It's very light for the size, actually. They've taken the swedge, or false sharpened edge, some people call it, on the tip of the blade there. That takes some of the weight off. And then, I don't know what material they use. It feels like a craton or just a plastic, but it's not very heavy, and it's not uncomfortable at all. So, all in all, I give this knife a plus. The one qualm I did have with it, and this may just be this one, well, one of the things, I wanted, like for this lock, to also be able to lock the blade closed. I think that would be a handy feature. Something else is that when I was switching the pocket clip, you see this one, I don't think we're going to be able to see it. That one on the edge there sticks up just a little bit. You see it's got something caught underneath it. But that one actually, when I was putting it in, it did strip just a little bit on the plastic. I was being gentle with it, but it just didn't work out quite so well there, and it stripped the stripped the plastic. Sorry, I can't talk for some reason there. But I had somebody ask me how well the tip held up with stabbing when I was talking with them about this knife online, so I wanted to bring it over here and just show it does get very good penetration. Got about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch into the stump top here. Definitely comfortable. That time got almost an inch. I guess I hit a little bit of softer part or something, but there's about 1/2 an inch, but it does very good. I'm not holding it either way. Still comfortable. It does definitely get some good penetration there, if that's the type of thing you like doing with your knife. Stabbing stump tops, you know, things like that. There you go. So, I'll do a little bit of work with the wood there again. So, there's to answer that question. So, I was reading in the mini catalog that came with this knife, and it's called LOX, the Lake and Walker Knife Safety System. And I don't know about a virtual fixed blade, but I do like that it has a secondary lock. You can see in the little picture, and I was playing with the switch earlier. So I do like that, and of course, you know, they've got a name on it, and LOX, apparently. But I like it, and it is. I just wanted to show, if I can get it to focus. There we go. I don't know if we could see that chip before, but it is gone now. Just camera focus issues, maybe a minute or two on my work sharp field sharpener. I didn't even use the coarse side, just this and then the smooth side on the well, that's not the side I used. The smooth side on the stone there, or the ceramic rod, and the smooth one, just for a couple minutes. Was able to get it back to where it would do a decent job with paper. So, whole length of the blade there. So, I'm happy with that. So it definitely sharpens up easily, if that was something else you were wondering. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think. Comment on them as well. And remember, stay safe and be ready.